Hello, Mr. Epoch. Hello. That's a cool name, Mr. Epoch. Please, Mr. Epoch is my father. That's terrible. But if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Mike, one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 136. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us 2 Cycle 2 teasers. 38 days away. I cannot wait. Now, if anybody tracks or follows my dev chat bingos on Friday, unfortunately, no bingo from this stream. We got close. All we needed was keyring. All right, let's jump into the first question. And this is really just a shout out to my CT testers.
Is the final 1.1 build ready for deployment? No. Got a ways before that. We are 5 weeks away, roughly. We got stuff to do in those 5 weeks. If we were ready to go now, we'd be going now. We do have builds going out to our CT program this week, though, so that's good. You know, it's making progress, making headway.
Looks like I'm going to get to play it soon. Skill MTX.
Are we away from me using those sweet skill slots to totally bling my skills? I don't know exactly how far we are, but you're still a ways out. You're still got a little time there. We don't have the functionality of the system designed yet. So, like, even if the VFX team built up an MTX skill object thing to do, like a replacement VFX for a skill, it would have no way of slotting into the current system. So we still have to like develop the tech behind it even.
So like a really down the line, this would be cool. Throwing base weapons.
All right. Any chance of seeing throwing base weapons with throwing damage implicits in the future? This is a question that comes up quite a lot. So I'm not going to go super in depth, but there's not much there, I guess. So basically, probably not. All of the throwing abilities are balanced around the fact that you don't have those as a possibility. So like the monkey's paw joke I like to play is like, oh yeah, sure, I'll finger all the monkey's paw curls and there's a new item type that's added to the game that has 100 base throwing damage. All throwing abilities have minus 100 base damage. You know, it's like, if we did add that, we would take the power away elsewhere. And then you just be wasting, or you just be using more opportunity costs in your gear to get back to where you were. So we don't really have any plans to do that at the moment. We're quite happy with it being something that you don't have to use that that gear equipment slot for.
Throwing bases, not happening. Sub-skill, skill trees.
Thoughts on item-exclusive sub-skills getting their own little skill trees. For example, Frozen Iron's Tundra Nova or Magma Shards from Vulcanist Two-Handed Sword. I think it's really cool. It's actually things we've talked about before. This is not the first time we've considered doing this. It is a little tricky. UI wise, especially when like especially if that item is in any way craftable, and so there's a potential for you to like take that item off, put that item back on, in like a crafting situation. There's sort of this like this issue of it going on and off and not realizing if and keeping the specialization points where they were type thing.
Snapshotting, bad.
That was gonna be harder. Anyways, so yeah, there's some logistical UI trickiness there, but it is something that we've considered.
I'll take considered. Still a little sad over this one.
Do you guys have plans for expanding on current skill systems with more skills? We do, absolutely. We have there are several skills that we have that are partially in development right now. Skills that are just a name, skills that have base functionality, skills that have started to design their skill trees. You know, like, so we are working on new skills. 1.1 will not include any new skills. You know, it's gonna be our first major patch ever that hasn't included a new skill, I think, which is wild to me. That we've never missed one before, but there's lots of updates, lots of tweaks to skills that exist now, and there's lots of new stuff coming. It's just no out of the box brand new skills.
You owe us double the new skills for Cycle 3. Now, you may not know this, but for the last couple months, I have been strictly playing Forge Guard, trying to get that mastery ready for Cycle 2. Teaser number 1, Forge Guard.
Is another passive node? Nope. Yes, another passive node for Forge Guard called Shield Crafter.
Ooh.
You have a chance to cast a shield from Ring of Shields when you block a hit, and you have additional block effectiveness per shield from Ring of Shields. This effect can trigger up to 3 times every 6 seconds. Additionally, your minions have increased health and armor. So there's a lot going on in this node. A lot of stuff there. Really trying to push that shield theming on Forge Guard. Getting some more minion stats out there as well is going to be. I think this is going to be a pretty staple node for a lot of like even if you're not doing Ring of Shields, I think there's still room for this node on some builds type thing.
Absolutely. Right now, just playing Forged Weapon, you are trying to find minion damage nodes. Shield Crafter will be awesome. And what's great about this node is, technically speaking, you could spec into Ring of Shields and you could manually cast that through this from your block chance. Pretty exciting. Dungeons.
Will you guys add more dungeons in the future? Yeah, dungeons I think are a really great framework because they are they're pretty flexible in what they can do while still having a consistent framework that makes sense. So you don't have to re-tutorialize the system. You just have to re-tutorialize that specific mechanic, and you can put all sorts of wacky rewards at the end of it that you can't put elsewhere in the game. So it's a really powerful system for us, and we do want to explore it more. Also, just getting more campaign skips in there. There's lots of great benefits that adding more dungeons does. Dungeons are missing a little bit of UX love that they need to really like shine and feel fun to play. So we are making some changes to that this patch and next patch probably, just to like get that system feeling really tight before we add more dungeons to the game. But yeah, that is a when we design dungeons, we design them specifically with the intention that it is a something that we would add more to. So like as we were designing early endgame systems, we were really interested in systems that could that lent themselves to expansion really easily. And dungeons are one of those things where we can maybe it's not a headlining feature, but we're like, hey, this patch is like it's doing well, but like maybe it can use just like a little bit of zhuzh to like just make it really exciting. And like, okay, well let's add one more boss, one more dungeon, and it's something that you can kind of like tack onto a patch if you need it. And then it's also a system where, hey, you could really go deep with this, and you could have an entire patch focused around it.
Teaser number 2, and this is Spellblade.
Here we are. So here is a new Rumble. Is that one so I can read it because it's so tiny on that screen.
Congrats. I've got you, Mike. Plus 1 point of dex. You can put up to 8 points into it. 5 points bonus. Increase critical strike chance per dexterity by 8%. Now, this is not base dexterity. So you're not gonna get 100% base. That being said, let's say you have 100 dexterity. That would mean that this is gonna give you 800% to your critical strike chance. Right. My question.
Any new weapon bases for Cycle 2? No, I don't think we have any new weapon bases for Cycle 2.
He gets there.
Oh, there might be some new subtypes. Sorry. I don't know if there's new subtypes. There's not any new, like when I say weapon base types, I mean like gloves, boots, two-handed spear. That's what I mean by base type. So like there might be some like how this is like a glaive, and this is leather coat, and this is dome cap, like the specific types, the subtypes. Those, it's possible we could add some of those. I don't know if we're adding any of those or not, but I don't think we're adding any new base types, like no fist weapons, no crossbows, no two-handed shields, no, like we're not adding things like that this patch.
All right, everyone. Unfortunately, we have come to the final question of Dev Chat 136. This is another question from me to Mike, focused on after-death effects. Mike, as always, thank you for continuing your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. It is awesome to connect with EHG every single week. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription on YouTube. It means the world. It supports the channel, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. Hit that red button. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 128 members that have signed up. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it. It is the first link in the description. And if you haven't joined my Discord, you should. It's the second link in the description. We're going to be starting the new June update, or June giveaway. So get into the Discord. I'm done. After death effects. Mike, take it away.
Why do so many ARPGs love after-death effects? I want to go in Time Machine and remove them forever. I think it's the like, why do you not like them? What's wrong with it? I think they're interesting. I think it's a new thing you have to be aware of in combat. It's a new like angle to the fight that you have to think about. I think anything that adds a new tactic is interesting. Like, hey, when I kill this thing, I got to get out of the way of it before it explodes, or else I'm gonna get got. I think that's a like. There's you see enemies that are like casting a big spell. I gotta get out of the way of that before it lands. That's like talking about times to move, and reasons to move. And I think a lot of fights get easier. If you have a fight of 10 things and kill one of them, now you're fighting 9 things and the fight's easier. And that natural slowdown in danger and tension, that the tension like naturally in a fight with many enemies just like naturally ratchets down, which is kind of the opposite of what you want. You want a fight to get more intense and more intense and more intense, and then you overcome it and suddenly it's like, oh, it's all done. And I know what you're saying here is like, well, then why have something happen after it dies? And it a lot of the time is because when there's many enemies, not the one big bad. The big baddie rarely has on death effects. I think that's very rare, and usually it's scripted for some reason. This way, going this way. But yeah, I think it's just it's another dynamic in the fight that's interesting, and having more ways that the enemy can hurt you, I think is interesting.